Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome, welcome. We're just going to wait a couple of minutes while we wait for people to join us. So please, if you're here, just type in the chat where you're calling in from. Are you calling in from Madrid or somewhere else in Spain? Be sure you can say hi in the chat right there below. Okay, we'll get started in just another minute while we wait for people to join. All right. All right, well, I think we're going to get started here. So first of all, good morning, everyone. Hello and welcome to our webinar today. Our webinar is called TOEFL IBT Test, All You Need to Know to Prepare for Success. And my name is Marcus Siconolfi, and I am the English Language Teaching and Training Coordinator for ETS, based here in Madrid, Spain, originally from New York. And with me today, we have Jeff Losey from the American Language Academy. Jeff, would you like to introduce yourself, say a few words?
Sure. Thanks, Marcus. Yeah, I'm Jeff. I'm one of the directors of studies at American Language Academy here in Madrid, where we are actually sending the webinar from. And yeah, I'm originally from Ohio. I've been in Spain for several years, and I have a pretty good background in TOEFL. I remember it's paper days, it's computer days, and of course now it's internet-based days. Happy to be here.
Great. Yes, thank you for hosting here and for having us. And yeah, the TOEFL definitely has undergone various stages of evolution. And today we're going to talk to you about the latest version of the TOEFL test. So just a quick overview of what we're going to do today. First, we're going to look briefly at what is the TOEFL IBT test. Then we're going to look at the test format and features. Then we're going to look at how to register and your scores, how you get your scores. And finally, we're going to look a little bit at test preparation. What is the best way to prepare for the TOEFL IBT? But since we're talking about tests, then what better way to start talking about tests than by doing a little test here, a little pop quiz. Let's see how much you know, or you think you know, about the TOEFL IBT. So, first question, true or false? It is preferred that test takers use American spelling and pronunciation in their responses. Ooh, what do you think? True or false? You can type in the chat. Just put a T or an F. What do you think? True, false? Anybody? I don't know. We're here with the American Language Academy. The TOEFL is made by ETS, based in the United States. But it is false. It is false. There are no regional preferences. There's no regional preference for spelling, pronunciation, or vocabulary. All standard varieties of the English language are accepted. So yes, you can spell color with a U or without. It doesn't matter. You can say lift, elevator, whatever you prefer. All standard varieties of English are accepted, and you will hear a variety of different accents as well. North American accents, but also British, Australian, New Zealand, etc. All right, question number 2. how many institutions accept the TOEFL IBT test worldwide? Is it A, 2,500, B, 5,200, C, 12,500, or D, 125,000? I don't know, that's a lot. Any ideas, any guesses? Well, it is 12,500. Yes, 12,500 institutions in over 160 countries around the world accept the TOEFL IBT. Now, many people associate the TOEFL IBT with going to university in the United States or Canada, and that's true. It is accepted by 100% of universities in North America, and it is the the preferred test in those countries. However, it is also accepted in 100% of universities in the UK, in Ireland, Australia, New Zealand. So it is actually the most widely accepted test of academic English in the world. And final question for our quiz here. Where is the nearest TOEFL IBT test center? The nearest official TOEFL IBT test center? Any ideas? Right here. It is right here at the American Language Academy, right here in the heart of Madrid. We actually have around 40 test centers throughout Spain, 40 official test centers throughout Spain, the closest of which being right here in the American Language Academy in the heart of Madrid. We have other test centers in Madrid as well. We have several test centers in Barcelona and in other major cities throughout Spain. So it is quite easy to find a test session, and we'll look later to see how you register and how to find the nearest test center to you. All right, let's get right into it here. So what is the TOEFL IBT test? Well, the TOEFL IBT test, as I said, is the world's premier English language proficiency test for university study, and also used for visa purposes. For example, in many countries, you can use the TOEFL IBT for visa purposes. You can use it for professional purposes as well. Here in Spain, many times, depending on the autonomous community, you can use it for oposiciones, for example, for teachers, etc. And it is a test of English that consists of 4 sections: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. And it is a multi-level test. So that means that you can do it one time, and it covers from B1 through C2. So depending on your score, from B1 to C2, you can do the test, and each individual university or institution will require a specific score, which we'll look at later. And why choose the TOEFL IBT? Well, as I mentioned, it is the world's most accepted high-stakes test of academic English, and it is also preferred by many institutions because it carries with it a level of prestige, a level of acceptance that is generally preferred, and it also is a very practical test that helps you to prepare for the test, but also at the same time you will be preparing for the types of skills and activities that you will need to do in real life academic settings. So you'll see that many of the test tasks are actually based on things that university students will have to do in their day-to-day lives. Okay, we're going to look now at the format of the test and its features, what it consists of. As I mentioned, there are 4 sections: reading section, listening, speaking, and writing. Each section is weighed equally, so each section is worth 30 points for a total of, it's a little math test here, 30 times 4, 120 total points. And as I mentioned, each university or institution can require a specific minimum score in order to attend that university. Okay, so we're going to look at the specifics of each section in a minute, but the important thing to note here is that the total test is just under 2 hours completion time. So this is one of the evolutions of the TOEFL. The most recent version of the test was launched just about a year ago, last July. And in this newest version of the test, all 4 sections are done together and completed in just under 2 hours. So it's a test that is quite manageable, I think, from a time standpoint. We'll look now at the individual sections. So first we have the reading section, and the reading section consists of 2 passages from academic texts. So the texts are approximately 700 words long, and they're each followed by 10 questions. Most questions are worth 1 point, some occasionally are worth 2. But the important thing to note here is that these are all texts that are drawn usually directly with very little to no alterations from actual university textbooks. And many of the texts you will find, for example, in a first-year course, introduction to, right? Introduction to economics, introduction to European history, introduction to fine arts. So you will actually see the type of texts that students who are attending university would have to look at, would have to read, would have to understand. But don't worry, it's not expected of you to have any prior knowledge. You don't need to be an expert in economics or an expert in history in order to be able to perform well on this section of the test. In fact, what they're looking for here is for you to be able to use this text to learn something from it. And you won't find any super technical vocabulary. And if you do, if there is more technical expressions, they will usually be defined below in a glossary to help you, just like you would if you were a native speaker of English, for example, who's looking at a topic that they're not familiar with for the first time. Okay, so the main tasks here that we will focus on reading for basic comprehension and also for inference, right? Being to infer, to have an idea of what the author is implying or what the author is trying to convey, the message they're trying to convey. And as I said, reading to learn, to see if you can get something from this text. The next section is the listening section, and it consists of 3 academic lectures. Be careful, lecture here is not lectura in Spanish. No, so false friend, right? What does lecture mean? Anybody? Yes, a lecture. Jeff, can you tell us what's a lecture in English?
Sure. A lecture is basically just, a university class. It's where a professor is going to be speaking mostly. And yeah, sometimes there's some student interaction with the teacher or with the professor.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So you will see here that we have these lectures, which are followed by 6 questions. And then we have what we call informal campus conversations. We'll have 2 conversations, and these are usually interactions between, for example, a professor and a student talking about something after class or about a special project, or what we call service encounters, which means a student talking to, for example, a librarian or someone in the registrar's office, right? Someone, they want to change a class, or someone in the housing office, right? They want to try to change their dormitory or their residence for this year, etc. So these kind of really practical situations that a university student in an English-speaking university setting would have to handle. They would have to deal with. Now you'll notice here, the last point each passage is played once. Only once, right? No, everybody gets very, very scared when they see this, right? What do you mean only once? In my life, every English teacher I've ever had always plays it at least twice, right? Now, this is not something to get too worried about, because even though they're only played once, you will see that the passages are rather long, right? The academic lectures are about 5 minutes each, and the conversations are about 3 minutes each. So even though they're only played once, because they're so long, there's a lot of repetition, a lot of checking for understanding. Oh, did you mean this? Oh, okay. So you mean that we should blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of natural repetition and highlighting of the important points. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that you will never have super specific questions about asking for very specific details, numbers. They're not going to ask you, according to the professor's lecture, what was the population of Malaysia according to the 1995 census broken down by cities. No, you're never going to find something so specific. What they're looking for is general understanding, an understanding of the situation, the main ideas, and also the attitude and the relationship between the speakers. And finally, the third thing to keep in mind for the listening section and for the entire test is that you can and should take notes throughout the entire exam. So you will have paper and pencil, and you'll be able to take notes of the important points while you're listening. So this is another thing that Jeff's going to talk about a little bit later, about the importance of note-taking skills and being able to use those notes to get the important information and the main points. Next, we move on to the speaking section. In the speaking section here, we have 4 tasks. We have first our independent task, which is basically talking about a familiar topic based on personal experience or opinion. So for example, do you prefer to live in a dormitory on campus or in an apartment with friends? Which do you think is better for university life, for example? But then we also have 3 integrated tasks. And by integrated, I mean that it's not just speaking, it's not just talk about this topic, it is actually based on other skills as well. So you will have to listen and or read something before, and then use that information to produce your speaking response. So it's very much looking at what you would do at university, right? You would listen to a lecture by a professor, maybe you would read a text on that same topic, and then you would have to compare and contrast information, synthesize that information, and use it to formulate a response. And finally, we have the writing section, which again uses 1 integrated task. So you will listen to a professor speaking about a topic, then read a text on the same topic, usually from a different perspective or contrasting viewpoint, and then compare that information to produce your response. And that's a 20-minute response. Here you're approximately 200 words for your response. And then we have the writing for an academic discussion task, which is the newest task added in the latest edition of the test, which came out last July. And this is a shorter task based on the things that we see students at real universities, things that they're actually doing now, which is often contributing to an online discussion or an online forum. So for example, at your university, you're using Teams or Moodle or one of these online platforms, and the teacher would post a topic and a question, and you would have to contribute to that topic to give your answer, your opinion on that topic or that question. So here it's a shorter task. It's 10 minutes and approximately 100 words. And that brings us to the next section, which is, okay, great. So now I know what the test is about. How do I actually do the test? How do you register? And it's very easy. You just go to the website, the ets.org website, and you go to the TOEFL section, and you first need to create an account. It's a free account. You just create an account with your ETS, use your email to create an ETS account, and that account will be used to send you your official scores and to see your scores as soon as they come in. And then you can also use that account to send your scores directly to the universities or institutions that require them. That way they get the official score directly from ETS, and as soon as it comes out. So you just follow the steps here. It's very simple. There's also an app, the official TOEFL app you can download for iOS or Android, and you can also use the app to find the nearest test center. So you'll put in your location, and then it will show you the available dates of the test centers closest to you. And after you take the test, you will get your scores. So, as I mentioned before, the test is made up of 4 sections, each section worth 30 points for a total of 120 points. So 30 points for reading, 30 points listening, 30 points speaking, 30 points speaking, 30 points writing. And these scores do have a correspondence with the CEFR levels, okay? So they cover from B1 through C2. However, it is very important to note that each individual university or institution can actually require their own minimum score. It doesn't have to be, we require a B2. No. Usually most universities will require a score that's somewhere in the middle, like a strong B2 or a C1 or a strong C1. So for example, if you want to study at Harvard University, the Harvard undergraduate program is, I believe, currently requiring a minimum score of 105 out of 120. So that's actually in the middle of C1. That's actually a strong C1 going towards almost C2. And you can see the breakdown here. You can find this table on the website online. This is the official mapping to the CEFR levels. If you look at the farthest column on the right, this is the total score. So for example, from a 72 to a 94 would be the B2 range. And then starting at 95 would be C1. So 95 to 113 would be C1. And then 114 to 120 would be C2. But again, each university can require their own specific score. So Harvard would require a 105, which is kind of in the middle between C1 and C2. Many universities in the US require an 85, for example, which would be a B2, kind of middle of B2. Other universities may require a 90 or 100, depending on the university and their requirements. Sometimes they may also require a specific sub-score as well. So for example, if they want to see that you can really speak English, they may require a minimum sub-score in speaking as well, in addition to the total score requirement. And speaking of scores, you will get your scores very quickly, usually within 4 to 8 days of taking the official taking the test. You will get your official score results directly to your inbox in your ETS account. And if you chose universities to send those scores to beforehand, they will also be sent at the same time automatically directly to the universities. Up to 4 institutions you can choose to send them to for free. And then you can pay a small fee to send them to additional universities as well. The scores are valid for 2 years, meaning that we Our official reports cannot be issued after 2 years because we can't guarantee that you have the same level, right? You might have gone down or gone up, depending on how much you use your English. However, if you retain the original score report and you want to present it to an institution or a job after 2 years, then that is up to them whether they will accept it or not. And finally, how can you prepare for the test? Well, there's lots of different ways to prepare. Again, as with any test, it is very important to know the structure and to know the type of tasks that will be on the test and the things that they're looking for in each task. On our website, on the official ETS website, you will find all the scoring rubrics. So for the speaking and the writing, what the raters are looking for there, you can find that on the website. And you can find a ton of free preparation materials. So if you want to start preparing the test on your own, we actually just launched this amazing new platform called TOEFL Test Ready. And it is a free platform which provides activities of the day. So each day you have some free activities. You have a practice test as well. You can do a full practice test on there and get a score, an estimated score. You can also create a personalized study plan. So for example, you say, okay, I want to do the test in 2 months. All right, so I have 8 weeks. And my current level is approximately this. My target score is this. I want to get a target score of 95, for example. And it'll ask you about your strongest area or your weakest area, and it will actually design a personalized study plan for you based on time you have and the time and the score that you want to get. And the best part about all this is that it has a fully integrated scoring component using artificial intelligence. So even on the productive activities, speaking and writing, you can actually do speaking and writing tasks. You send it into the platform and they will send back almost immediately an approximate score, which is often very, very similar to the actual score that you would get on the test, as well as giving you some feedback and some insights into your score. So it'll actually show you some feedback, some tips maybe for things that you could do to improve that score, maybe ways that you could vary your vocabulary or your grammar structures, and it will also give you the ability to track your progress over the course of your preparation. So starting from the first time you use the platform, every day that you use it, it will show you your progress, if you've improved, or what type of tasks you need to focus on in order to improve your score, etc. And it's completely free. However, there is the option to add on additional practice material, additional full practice tests as well, by paying some add-on fees as well, if you like. And of course, the other best way to prepare for an official exam, such as a TOEFL IBT, is to go to a language school and to do an official preparation course. So there are lots of schools out there, lots of options for preparing for the TOEFL IBT test. And here today to tell us about the American Language Academy and their TOEFL preparation course, we have Jeff Losey. So Jeff, I'll hand it over to you, and you can tell us all about the TOEFL prep options you offer.
Okay, Marcus, thanks a lot. That was a great rundown on the technical aspects of the exam and also the materials and the options that ETS offers students to prepare on their own. I'm going to change the chip a little bit and talk about actually doing a preparation course. Starting out to prepare the TOEFL IBT is really more than just about test preparation and getting prepared for the test. It's really about opening up your opportunities in the academic and professional world. So doing a TOEFL preparation course of quality, like the ones prepared by American Language Academy, is really helping you to achieve or optimize your possibilities and to try to get a top score. So I'm going to go through the content a little bit about preparing for success and talk about how you can empower yourself to getting your best options and the highest score. So what Marcus talked about the different components, the reading, the listening, the speaking, and the writing. But what really do you need to get from a course? Well, you need to really work on your note-taking skills. You need to be able to synthesize information, and you need to be able to express your thoughts clearly. That's the whole idea of taking a course and having feedback from an expert teacher. What kind of strategies do you need? Well, you have materials to practice simulated tests in a real test-like situation. You need to work on your time management. It's very important in test-taking skills to be able to manage your time and not go too fast and not go too slow. And also, you need to receive personalized feedback from expert teachers who have experience in doing the test. All right, so should you prepare on your own, or should I take a TOEFL test? Well, Marcus gave us some ideas of some materials that we could use if we wanted to prepare on our own. And I really suggest that you do that as well. But you might consider actually taking a course to optimize your opportunities and to optimize your possibilities of getting a top score according to your level. You know, having an English level, a high level, or a B2 level is one thing, but being able to show that on an exam is a completely another story. So the whole idea of doing a TOEFL preparation course at American Language Academy is to help you to optimize your possibilities and to get that top score. We prepared over more than 10,000 students over our tracking of giving TOEFL courses, and the average score has been 103 points. So for getting into places like Harvard or getting scholarships like with from different societies, that's a really good score. 103 is a top score. Okay, let's look at the different parts and the content of the actual test. What is it that you need to know about doing the test? Well, we got the technical aspects from Marcus, but really what does that come down to? Well, we need to know about the structure, we need to know about the scoring, but we also need to have some tips and lots of practice, especially on note-taking, which is essential for all the sections. Note-taking is not only important for academic purposes, but in real life, in your work, you'll find that these note-taking skills that you get from the course will be able to be used in your professional life as well. Paraphrasing and summarizing is another aspect that is essential when you're doing a test like the TOEFL, especially for the reading and the speaking sections. You have to read, you have to listen, and you have to be able to synthesize and summarize this information and then be able to express it either verbally or in written form. During the test, or during the test preparation, one of the first things that we're going to start looking at is the writing, so that you'll have time over the entire course to have lots of practice time in your writing skills. We talked about two tasks. One is the integrated writing, which Marcus mentioned was not just about writing, but it was about reading or listening and then synthesizing that information and turning it into some sort of essay. So with the TOEFL course, You'll get lots of practice on writing essays, on using templates, and doing practice tests. The other writing item would be academic discussions. So we'll get lots of practice also in working and seeing different kinds of academic discussions that are very typical on the test. We'll work on enhancing our vocabulary and our grammar so that we'll be able to contribute to that task, you know, in a proper way. Speaking skills, detailed practice with various speaking tasks. We'll work on strategies to improve our fluency and our coherence, which is very important. We don't want to just be there babbling, but we want to make sure that we can show that we can express our ideas with lots of coherence. Listening skills, this is super important as well. We'll be working with different kinds of lectures. What's very important is to be able to identify, as you're listening, the different types of questions and what kind of responses that are going to be asked of you. We need to be able to, when we hear the lecture, we should be able to almost sort of have a good idea of what the questions are going to be afterwards. So you would have lots of technique and strategy for the different types of listening questions and the response formats. Okay, advanced reading skills. Well, we all can read, but time management comes in very important here. And so we need to have lots of strategies to be able to address those texts and to synthesize them and get to the questions immediately. That's often where students fall down with preparing the TOEFL or with doing the TOEFL test, is their time management with the reading section. Okay, it's very important too with the time management to do full-length practice test. So as part of the course, you will have opportunities to have a real life test-taking experience by doing full-length tests in a test environment. Now you could either do this online or you could do it in person. If you do it online, your teacher will definitely guide you to how you can set up your area to simulate a real test-taking experience. All right, so why do you need an expert teacher? Overall, for the feedback. We're going to give you technique, we're going to give you strategies, but most of all, we're going to give you essential feedback on those writing and speaking tasks. So each person is different. The feedback is going to be personalized to help you to identify your weaknesses and some strategies to improve them. All right, so in summary, basically, why do you need a TOEFL course? Well, expert teachers will help you and give you insights to the test format, to the test scoring. They will provide you with strategies, and they will help you to develop your confidence so that when you go to that test on the test day, you're going to feel 100% ready to start the test, to know what the tasks are, and to do your best to get your optimal score. What kind of skills are you going to be practicing during the course? Well, we've already talked about this a little bit. Advanced note-taking, critical thinking, academic writing skills, and working with your fluency. All of those things are valuable for test taking, but also in your professional life as well. So these are skills that you'll take with you, not just for the TOEFL test, but also in your professional life. Okay, so how does the TOEFL preparation course at American Language Academy actually help you, and what are the actual exam conditions? Well, you'll do the full-length practice test. You'll have a simulated test environment. You'll have comprehensive review sessions, And we'll even work on stress management. So on the day of the test, you'll be able to feel more confident and to handle that stressful situation of a test situation. So for more information about the courses at American Language Academy, you have a website here. You can have online courses, you could have in-person classes. There are intensive courses every month. There are semi-intensive courses. There's even personalized courses if you need. There's on the webpage, you'll find the test dates, you'll find the prices. We'll be able to help you to register for the course. Marcus gave us some information on registration. If you have any doubts there, we're here to help you with that as well. And that kind of sums it up on our part. We hope that this has been useful. And sorry? Okay. My colleague here, Alfonso, who's here with me, would like to just say a few words as well. So I'm going to pass it over just a second to him, and then we'll move back to Marcus.
Okay, hello, and thank you very much. Thank you, Marcus, and thank you, Jeff, for hosting this event. I am the coordinator of the American Test Center, which is the official TOEFL test center from American Language Academy. And for us, it's an honor to host here Marcus from ETS, as well as Jeff, the Director of Studies of American Language Academy. As Jeff said, here in American Language Academy, we are experts in test preparation with over 30 years of experience training students for the TOEFL test. More than 10,000 test takers have been prepared with us, and the average score of over 103, over 120, which is a strong C1, almost through C2, and many scores reaching 120, 119, 118, which are outstanding scores. And every time students are thanking the preparation they receive in order to achieve these scores. We have also these facilities where we are having the event are an official test center, and we have test dates every month. You can take the TOEFL exam in the center of Madrid at our facilities, or like Marcus said, there are many other test venues where you can find the most convenient, but this one is one of the most central locations in Madrid. And in American Language Academy, we will be always help you both to prepare and obtain your maximum potential score, given your skills with the English language, but we will help you reach your optimal potential score in a short amount of time, so you'll be able to go or to open your doors to universities or professional opportunities. And also we can help you with the registration of the TOEFL test, as well as we can orient you, like Marcus was explaining, on what's the process to register for the exam, but also we can help you and through us to register to the exam with a special discounted fee. So we hope to see you and help you from the American Language Academy if you need any help or if you would like to improve your potential TOEFL score. Thank you very much, Marcus and Jeff again. And back to you, Marcus.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Alfonso. Muchas gracias. So, yes, and actually, since I've got you here, you guys, if I'm not mistaken, you also run courses throughout the summer as well. So like if students you're open all summer. So if students want to prepare, which is a good time to prepare in August before the school year gets started again. If you're thinking about going abroad, for example, next year or the following year for a semester abroad or a year of study abroad, summertime is a great time to prepare, right? And so am I correct? You are
yes,
open all summer? You have
we are open. That's right. We are open all summer. We have intensive courses which are 1 month long, going throughout all the year. And we also have semi-intensive courses that are with a little less number of hours of class per week, so they are extended for a little longer as well. The busiest time where students usually prepare for the TOEFL exam is usually starting in September. So usually in September is where the biggest number of students enroll for this kind of courses and where there is the most availability of different schedules, morning, evening, afternoon, from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. There are courses going starting every week from September. Okay, so starting September, there are starts of new courses every week. And through the rest of the year, there are starts every month. But September, October, and November are especially a very high season for student preparations. And usually that's it's a good time to get ahead and start in September and don't leave it for the last minute.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Great, very good to know. Thanks so much again, Alfonso.
Thank you, Marcus. Thank you too from ETS for being here today and for having this joint presentation.
Thank you.
See you.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up now. Again, you saw the American Language Academy website is here. We also have a ton of social media for ETS regarding the TOEFL. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. We actually have a channel on YouTube called Inside the TOEFL, or TOEFL TV on YouTube. So we have, that's a really good place to listen to actual experiences from students, from teachers about the tests, hear examples of different speaking tasks, for example. And also there's some practical information there about how to register, for example, the home edition as well, if you're interested in doing the home edition of the test, lots of good information there. And of course, all the official preparation material you can find on www.ets.org/TOEFL. And if you need to contact us directly at ETS, you can reach us at this email address here, contact-iberia@etsglobal.org. So again, I'd like to give my thanks so much to Jeff and to Alfonso for hosting us here today. And we will now open the floor to any questions that you may have. So thank you very much again. Muchas gracias a todos. Thank you, everyone. And if there are any questions, you can just put them in the chat right now. Okay. Let's see. I'm not sure if we have any questions, but if not, I think we will officially bring this webinar to a close. Thank you again to American Language Academy, and thank you to our guests here and our students.
Yes, it seems, Marcus, everything was very clear. And of course, if students have questions, they can always get in contact with us. We help a lot of students, even if it's not through preparation, orienting them through the best way to prepare and to get ready to present to the TOEFL test. Thank you very much, Marcus, and thank you for ETS. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.